Good morning, everyone. This is Mrs. Davies, and I'm going to be reading two more chapters from By Pond and River by Arabella Buckley. But first, I wanted to introduce two of my 5 guinea pigs. This is Dudley, and Dudley is, I'd say about 1.5 years old, and I've had him since he was a baby, and he's just the sweetest little guy, very kind, very sweet. And this is Wren, and Wren was a rescue. She came from a hard home, and I rescued her about 6 months ago. And she is absolutely the cutest guinea pig you ever saw. Look at that face. I just love these guys. Okay, so we'll let them have a little treat while I read to you. Chapters 4 and 5, but we'll start with chapter 4, The Stickleback's Nest. It was a lovely day in May. The sun was shining, the grass was green, and the bushes on the banks of the River Thames were covered with fresh leaves. In a hollow place in the river, a little fish was building a nest. The fish was a stickleback. Did you know fish build nests? It was not more than 2 inches long. It had 3 spines sticking up on its back. Boys often catch this fish and keep it in bottles or sell it to people who have aquariums. Well, I used to catch these fish, and I'm not a boy. They're pretty cool little fish. It was more pleasant to watch him at work under the shade of the bushes. He brought little pieces of fine root threads and narrow grass and made them into a tiny saucer at the bottom of the river. Then he brought more pieces and stuck them on with slime from his mouth. In this way, he made sides and a round roof. When he had done, the nest was as big as a large gooseberry, so not very big. It was about 6 inches below the top of the water and had a hole right through it. When the stickleback put his head out at one end, his tail stuck out at the other. But he had not built it to live in. He wanted it for the eggs of his young ones. And here's a picture of the little stickleback in his nest. He was a lovely little fish with a shining back and bright red belly. He had a bluish-green eye that shone like a jewel. Now that his nest was built, he swam off to fetch a mate. He soon came back with another fish, not so bright as himself. He played with her and drove her and coaxed her, till at last she went in at one hole of the nest and, after a little while, came out at the other end. She had deposited a tiny packet of yellow eggs, which she left behind her. Then she went away and took no more care of them. It's interesting how these fish work. The father stickleback now went through the nest and took charge of the eggs. Each egg was not bigger than a poppy seed, and the whole bunch was very tiny. He shook the nest up and poked the eggs into a snug, safe corner. Then he swam over the top of the nest, waving his fins, so that fresh water went in and out. Rosie's harassing my other guinea pigs. She's trying to get their vegetables. Sometimes he went into the nest and brought out some dirty sand in his mouth. Hi. This he puffed away into the water. You see, he wanted to keep the nest clean. He did this every day for 3 weeks till the eggs were hatched. Then a number of tiny fish came out. They were so small and transparent or see-through that you would think no other fish would see them. But the stickleback knew better. There were plenty of hungry fish watching to eat the tiny fry, which were very weak and had to carry a bag of food under their body to suck in till they could eat. So the brave little stickleback stuck up his 3 spines and dashed angrily at any fish which snapped at his little ones. He seized their fins and struck at their eyes and drove them away. Sorry, Wren, did I scare you? You're sleeping. He made a small round place in the sand at the bottom of the river and gathered the little sticklebacks into it, and there he watched over them. Even after their spines were grown and they could swim boldly, he followed them out into the river to see that they were safe. You may find plenty of sticklebacks' nests in rivers and ponds if you look carefully for them. We definitely have them in North America, and in Montana you'll find them too. Or if you catch several sticklebacks in a bottle and put them in a large pan with plenty of weeds and food, most likely you will see a stickleback build his nest and learn what a good father he is. Chapter 5, The Kingfisher. Hush, do not make a noise. There is a kingfisher sitting on the bough of the willow tree, hanging out over the river. If we once startle him, he will fly away, and we shall not see him again. How lovely he looks against the gray leaves, with his long beak and his stumpy tail. He is not much larger than a sparrow. Yet he seems to wear all the colors of the rainbow. He has a bright blue streak down his back. His head and wings are a lovely green with blue spots on the tips of the feathers. His beak is black. His chin and throat are white. He has a red streak behind his eye, with soft white feathers beyond, and his breast is shining like copper. Even his feet are red and look quite gay against the dull branch. He is peering down into the quiet pool under the willow, watching the fish swimming below. There, he has darted down to the water. Now he is up again with something in his mouth. It is a small minnow. He taps its head against the branch and gulps it down head first. Once more, and still one more fish he catches in the same way. While he is eating the last, another kingfisher comes and perches by his side. This is his mate, who has been fishing a little way off. She is not quite so bright as he is, and has a little bit of red under her chin. There's a picture. And these are European kingfishers, very different than the species that we have here in North America. Now they are going home, and they fly away crying, "Seep, seep, seep," as they go. They live in the trees and bushes by the side of the river, for you must always remember that birds do not live in nests. The nest is only a cradle for their eggs and their little ones. As soon as they are able to fly, the young birds leave it with their parents and do not often live in a nest again till they make one for their own eggs. Are you listening? I do not think you will easily find a kingfisher's nest, so I must tell you about it. When the mother wants to lay her eggs, the kingfishers dig a tunnel in the bank. And when it is made, they dart into it so fast that you cannot see where they go. It's so interesting how they build a nest into the bank. But if you could know where it is and dig down from above, you would find a snug chamber which measures about 6 inches across. At the bottom of this chamber are a number of fish bones which the old birds have put there. They are mixed up together so that they make a nice open floor where the wet can get away. On the fish bones lie some shining white eggs. There will be 7 if the mother has laid as many as usual. And if the birds are hatched, there will be 7 little birds. Each bird will have all the lovely colors of which I have told you. The only difference between them and the old birds is that their beaks are shorter. Though you may, perhaps, not find a kingfisher's nest, you will very likely see some young birds on the river. I was once out with a friend who was fishing, and while his rod was over the water, all at once 2 small kingfishers flew up and settled upon it. They rested a moment and then flew on. He had only just thrown his fly again onto the water when 2 more kingfishers flew up and sat on the rod. They too soon went on. It was clear that they were young birds just out of the nest and could not fly far. Dudley's getting tired of being here, so he's rumble strutting. He's telling me to put him back. The kingfishers are the brightest birds you can see on the river. I think that's true for us too. They look so pretty among the green leaves and hovering over the water that if you have once seen them, you will want to see them again. Okay, that is the chapters for this week. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll see you later.